everybody. So I will be hosting some Zoom kettlebell classes and Zoom Krav classes, and I usually do a full body warm-up prior to my kettlebell classes. That's pretty consistent. So I figured I'd make a video, and I'll share it via YouTube and on the Facebook page, so that way if you guys ever want to jump on one of my Zoom conferences, you can be warm up. You can be warmed up before you start. All right, so the first thing I start with is breathing. So I start with a 90-90 breathing, and that's basically your hips and your knees and your ankles are all at a 90-degree angle, supported by the wall, and then your back is against the floor, and it's just breathing. You're breathing in through your nose, filling your lungs up with air, coming to a natural kind of pause, and then exhaling through your mouth, almost like you're blowing a candle out on the roof, and that gives you like a natural brace through your core. Again, coming to that natural pause before taking an inhale again. So I'll show you that. I'll start there. All right, so everything's supported. I'm just breathing, I'm relaxing. With the nature of our circumstances now, everything is online, so we've been sitting in front of the computer, probably hunched over. So this is kind of a reset for your posture as well. Letting your head rest against the floor, shoulders back and down, breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So you want to squeeze all the air out of your lungs. Your exhale should be longer than your inhale. You want to let your diaphragm descend so that your lungs have room to expand. And I like to do about 30 seconds to a minute of breathing before every class, just to kind of reset and kind of find your zen. Forget about all the work that's driving you nuts, and kind of get yourself into the mindset of it's time to either swing some kettlebells or do some Krav. All right, so once we do that, we usually come away from the wall. I'm used to a huge mat, so being here is interesting. All right, so we're going to do segmental body rolls. A segmental body roll is trying to move through each vertebrae independently. And it's more of a motor neuron thing than it is a mobility or a skill. So don't get frustrated if you can't do it. If we're doing an upper body segmental body roll, then you want to think about everything from my belly button down is paralyzed, and I'm using my upper body to create the movement. So I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to reach it across my body. I'm going to follow it with my head and let that arm pull me all the way over until I flop over onto my stomach. And then I'm going to allow that arm to bring me back again. Then I'll do the other side, and then we'll do a lower body segmental body roll, where everything from my belly button up, you want to think of as being paralyzed, not moving. And you're going to take your leg and reach across to pull your body over, and then take that same leg back. So I am going to adjust this. Sorry for my thumb. So I want you guys to be able to see the roll. I think this might be the best way. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to take my arm, reaching across my body, follow it with my head, letting that arm pull me over until I flop, and then take that arm back. And And then the other side, reaching across until I flop, and then take that arm back until I flop. So I'm going to rearrange so you can see my legs. So I'm going to take my leg and reach across, cross, cross, pull, 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 pull until I flop, and then bring it back. And then the other way. So they just feel really good. Alright, so then I like to do some thoracic mobility. So if you've seen my other videos, I've done some thoracic, shoulder, and hip mobility. Some of this will look a little bit familiar. So I'm going to sit back onto my heels, put my hands together, put one arm behind my back, and rotate to look at the ceiling, and back down again. And we'll do 6 of these on each side. We'll call that 6 for sake of time. So you don't want to crank on your shoulder here. It's more about mobility than it is in your thoracic spine than it is about shoulder mobility. So if you don't have that shoulder mobility, you can just keep your arm down. Okay, good. So we've done the thoracic spine rotation. Now let's do thoracic extension and flexion. So quadruped position, one of my faves, and it's cat-cow. So if you've ever done a yoga class, this will look familiar. So you want to let everything just sag, okay? So everything should be an extension now, but you don't want your shoulders pushed up into your ears, okay? You want them back and down, and you want to find a high spot in the wall. Keep your eyes fixated on that spot for as long as you can. You're going to start at the bottom, tucking your pelvis under, then your low spine, mid spine, upper cervical spine, and then your head will tuck. You'll look through your legs, find a spot there, and try to hold that gaze as long as you can as you extend your hips, lumbar extension, thoracic, cervical, and then your head. Okay, so that's cat-cow. So we're down, tuck under, try to go through one vertebrae at a time, and then extend again, back into cow. Okay, you can come back up into a neutral spine from here, lifting your knees off the mat, shoulder tap, lifting a toe off. Good. All right. A little bit of hip mobility. I like the 90-90 position. Again, you can check out my whole hip mobility video from before if you want to switch it up a little bit. But I have a 90-degree angle coming off my left femur into my left leg with my ankle. So knee, ankle, hip, hip, knee, ankle, all at 90 degrees. I'm pressing my knee and my ankle into the ground, and again my ankle and my knee into the ground. I can lean over, straight spine, get a little bit of a piriformis stretch, and come up tall. Then I want to keep my feet where they are and pry my knees away from each other. To come around to the other side, so I should still be in that 90-90 position with intention, pressing down through my ankle and my knee over that front leg and back up, and then coming back around to the other side. Okay. If you need to put your hands down, that's fine, but the goal is to have it all through your hip stabilizers moving your body. Boom. Okay, finish it, come all the way over. All right, so we're waking up our hips. Now we're gonna put that all together. Get up a little higher here, because we're gonna stand. And you can't see my head, but that's not that important. So pay attention to the talking body. So we're gonna do squat, rotate, rotate, extend. So you're gonna pull yourself into as deep of a squat as you have. Take your fingers, put them underneath your toes. Maintaining this squat, whatever squat you have at this time, you're gonna rotate to look to one side, come back, rotate to look to the other side, come back, and you're gonna extend your hips, letting your head hang, and then woo! You may lose your balance, or you may be able to come right back down, and hopefully this squat is a little bit better than the other one, or the first one rather. We'll do this 4 times. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Awesome. Okay, and we'll end with some bridging. So bridging helps to get the glutes to wake up. So if we sit all day and our hips are used to being flexed, then our glutes forget how to work. So your glutes are your hip extensors. So super important when you're standing and walking to be able to extend your hips. So my feet are pressed into the mat, and I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, which will extend my hips up. My ribs are still down. I'm not like flaring out. Everything is still into a nice soup can and back down. So we'll do 5 with our feet flat. So you can see. Move my hands up so you can see my body. 2. Just squeezing. And let's do another one because I lost count. All right, then we're gonna do 10 alternating bridges with one leg. So this helps, again, for walking, or if you want to translate it into kicks, knees, single leg kettlebell work. It's really important to be able to stabilize on one leg. So from here, so it's all from one leg. Okay, you don't want your hips to dump. You want your hips to stay nice and stable. So one side may be easier for you. For me, I don't know if you can tell, but this right glute works way better than my left. So this left extension is a lot harder for me to do. Okay, so we'll do 10 of these, and you can keep your hands down. I'm just putting them up so that you can see what my body's doing.